What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today I want to talk about the Call of Duty cycle. So this is a phenomenon. If you don't know what the Call of Duty cycle is, it's essentially a phenomenon that's been talked about for years now in the Call of Duty community, where a lot of people will kind of follow this exact sort of cycle every single year when a new Call of Duty comes out. And it's almost like the exact same every year. But I want to make this clear that there are some exceptions, of course. Not everyone is going to act this way. Personally, me, I don't act this way. I definitely don't. And this doesn't happen for the whole community like every year. There's some years where it's definitely less than others. And so essentially what the COD cycle is that it basically starts around the time a new Call of Duty is starting to be teased. So once we start getting the trailers and such for a new Call of Duty, that is when it kind of starts. And people are just really looking forward to the next game while also completely shitting on the game that is currently out. So of course we saw this year definitely with Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 trailers were coming out, everyone was so excited for it, and they were shitting on Vanguard completely. Like basically Vanguard was the worst Call of Duty of all time in most people's opinion during this period. And again, there's exceptions, not everyone's going to say that, but a lot of people, especially online on the discourse, a lot of people are talking about Vanguard being the worst and how excited they are for Modern Warfare 2 to change everything and just make Call of Duty great again, because everyone always says that every single year, oh, it's going to be better this year, it's going to be better, and that is what is being said. And then when the beta comes out, you start to see a decent amount of people still being very hopeful, because at the end of the day, it is just a beta, but there's also a lot of people that do start to drop off, and that excitement dips a bit because they don't enjoy the beta nearly as much as they thought they were going to enjoy the full game. And then the full game comes out itself, and then again, even more people drop off, but you still have a decent amount of people quite hopeful with the game. And I would say the first month or two of the game, people are pretty positive on the new Call of Duty. For most years, even going back to Vanguard, which is such a hated on Call of Duty now, think about when it first came out. People loved it. People absolutely loved Vanguard the first month. I mean, a big part of it had to do with the amount of maps that were in the game, but wow, people loved Vanguard. Even I kind of enjoyed it quite a bit. But then after a month or two, that love started to dip down a bit, and then eventually it led to people just despising the game's existence. And I think right now for Modern Warfare 2, we are at the point where that is starting, where people are starting to not like the game anymore. People were very positive about this game when it first came out. Again, there's exceptions, not everyone's going to feel that way, but a lot of people did absolutely love Modern Warfare 2 all the way through. And even into when Warzone 2 came out, people were somewhat positive for it, but it just kind of dipped. And I feel like it started happening maybe the past 2 weeks. And now we're getting to a point where people are shitting on Modern Warfare 2. And I guarantee you in a few months, we're going to start hearing, I think I've already started hearing it a little bit, but we're going to hear it even more. People are going to start saying Vanguard was not that bad. They're going to start saying it really was not nearly as terrible as everyone was saying. And in actuality, Modern Warfare 2 is the worst Call of Duty of all time. That is how it works. And then what happens when we start getting teasers for the next game? The cycle restarts. Obviously this year it's going to be a bit different because the next Call of Duty is technically not coming till 2024. This year we're just getting an expansion for Modern Warfare 2 in 2023, so that's going to be a little bit different, but people are still going to be probably acting like that expansion is going to fix the game and it's going to completely renew the experience. But then when the experience actually ends up coming out, they're going to be shitting on the current one, and then they're going to say that the old one was actually a lot better. We definitely saw this with Warzone, especially with Warzone, because I remember when Warzone was out with Verdansk, and you could look on Twitter or old tweets and stuff, you can definitely find people saying this. People did not like Verdansk. They did not like Verdansk that much. They loved Warzone, and people absolutely loved Warzone, but around the time Rebirth came out, and then a little bit after when we started getting teases of Caldera, people were so happy for a new map because they were sick of Verdansk. They were like, this map is too campy, yada, yada, yada. They don't like this map, especially when we were supposed to get a new map. We were supposed to get the Ural Mountains in Cold War, and then we ended up just getting a redone version of Verdansk. People were pissed because they did not want Verdansk anymore. But then once Caldera comes out, all of a sudden, people are, of course, saying, well, I actually want Verdansk back. Verdansk is so much better. This is terrible. Caldera is awful because it's the newest thing, so of course they're going to hate on the newest thing. And we're getting that even again with Al Mazrah. People are shitting on Al Mazrah and saying that Caldera was actually not that bad. Again, exceptions exist as well. Not everyone's going to feel this way. And also, it doesn't always work this way for every Call of Duty. For example, Vanguard. I don't think there was much excitement for Vanguard to begin with. It actually took until the game came out that people were like, okay, this is actually pretty good, and it was that first month where they really loved it, but there was not much hype leading up to Vanguard. There definitely was not much hype leading up to Infinite Warfare, but this is just a cycle that works most of the time. That's essentially what it means. So why does this happen? Why does this happen most of the time for a lot of people? And I don't think it's that hard to explain. I really don't. Part of it's just human nature in general. We do, as people, we do have trouble enjoying the moment. People are always looking to the past or the future. Very common. I mean, I catch myself doing this all the time where I can't really enjoy the current moment that much, and I'm just kind of thinking, oh, that event last year was better, or oh, I'm more excited for the one in the future because it's probably going to be better. How many times have you had a holiday with someone and people are like, oh, remember last Christmas? That was so much better than this Christmas, or remember last summer? That was so much better than this summer. But then years later, they're going to end up saying the same thing for that specific summer anyways. I mean, I've done this so many times. I look back at when I was dorming in college. I didn't really enjoy it when I was there. I hated it. I was like, I don't like this. But then looking back on it now, I miss it. I'm like, that was actually a lot of fun. So that's just how people work. It's not just a video game thing. It's kind of just a life thing. People have trouble enjoying the moment, and they don't really get to appreciate it until it's over. And that's not the only reason. Of course, people also just change their opinions. That's not a crazy concept to change your opinions. I feel like people act like changing opinions is like, you can't do that, it's not possible. The amount of times I've had someone link an old tweet of mine and send it to me and say, this contradicts what you said like recently. I'm like, well, of course it contradicts it because I said it 3 years ago. Like, I have different opinions now. Things can change. I could have loved a game 3 years ago, but maybe today I just don't really enjoy it anymore. Looking back on it, I don't think it's that great. Or the opposite could be true. Like, it doesn't have to be the exact same. Even opinions can change within like 2 months. Like, it doesn't have to stay the same, consistent throughout your entire life. That should be kind of weird in my opinion. So I don't think the idea of opinions changing is that crazy. But of course, this whole COD cycle, the fact that it feels like it happens with so many people, that makes it feel like more of a phenomenon rather than just an individual opinion thing. So again, I think it really just is tied back to human nature. That's just how we are as people, and that's just how it's probably going to be for the rest of our lives. Like, I don't think it's going to change that much. I think we're going to have tons of people who will not be able to enjoy the current thing. This can even go for TV shows or movies. I always see people, they shit on the newest movie in a franchise, but then the next movie comes out, they go back and say, well, you hold on, that actually the previous movie was actually not nearly as bad as the newest one. I mean, we see it all the time. So now that we've established that it's pretty much an unavoidable thing, it's just how people are, really. There's no way of changing that. Why is this a problem? Because like I said, it's not like the most detrimental phenomenon in the world, but it can kind of create problems every now and then, because you do have the situation where you can't really tell how people feel about something until way after it's out. So much so to the point where I can't really gauge the community's opinions on a new Call of Duty until the next one comes out, because I feel like they just hate and despise the one they are currently playing, like almost no matter what. I mean, how many times have you been hearing this is the worst Call of Duty of all time? Probably for the past 4 to 5 years. Like, I think ever since, probably even more than that, ever since Infinite Warfare, I feel like it's been almost every year. It's like, this is now the worst. No, this is the worst. No, this is it's like every year. So you can't even tell how people feel. But again, it is all up to just personal opinion. There's obviously exceptions. I don't think everyone is like this. Obviously, not everyone's like this. I know plenty of people who love Cold War but just haven't liked the other ones, or they love Modern Warfare 2019 and they don't like the other ones, or they like all of them. There's all sorts of exceptions, and people change their opinions for a variety of reasons. It's not always because of this phenomenon, but it is an interesting thing to look at, and I thought it would be fun to talk about for at least a little bit. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will see you all in my next one. Peace out.